I've never eaten a Hot Pocket and then afterwards been, I'm glad I ate that. I'm always like, I'm gonna die. I paid for that? Did I eat it or rub it on my face?
Here we go now.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, so why is this funny?
Why is this funny? It's your week.
It's my week. We're observing different clips that we both like. We're both comedy nerds, obviously with me being a comedian and him just being a fan of comedy. And thinks he's funny. Usually not.
I'm not a professional comedian.
No, but I do have a joke that I use. One of my jokes on my thing, it came from, probably two jokes came from you. So
anytime I can inspire comedy.
Yeah, you didn't deliver it well, but I did.
No.
So we're going to jump in. This is my week, and we're going to jump into, this is my all-time favorite joke by far. I have watched it literally probably 100 times, not an exaggeration. I like watching it with people who have never seen it before so that I can see their reaction to it. I think it's that great. And we'll talk about the details as we go. But this is Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
Great, very famous comedian, obviously.
Yeah.
And this is Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets by Jim Gaffigan. Here we go.
I'm moving a little slow tonight. I had a Hot Pocket for dinner. Good to see I'm not the only white trash here. I buy the Hot Pockets. I go in grocery stores. I'm like, yeah, I'll get these. I've never eaten a Hot Pocket and then afterwards been, I'm glad I ate that. I'm always like, I'm gonna die. I paid for that? Did I eat it or rub it on my face? My back hurts. Ow. I was looking at a box of Hot Pockets. They have a warning printed on the side. It said, warning, you just bought Hot Pockets. Hope you're drunk or heading home to a trailer. You hillbilly, enjoy the next NASCAR event. Hot Pockets.
Culturally insensitive.
Sure had a lot of Southern friends on that one.
Yeah, for real.
I like NASCAR. He's a jerk. Never really see that on a menu when you go out to dinner. Let's see, I'll have the Caesar salad and the Hot Pocket. Tonight's specials, we have a sea bass, which is broiled, and we have a Hot Pocket, which is cooked in a dirty microwave. And that comes with a side of Pepto.
Oh, goodness.
Is your Hot Pocket cold in the middle? It's frozen. But it can be served boiling lava hot.
I can relate to this.
Will it burn my mouth? It'll destroy your mouth. Everything will taste like rubber for a month. All of the Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket! Hot Pockets, yeah. They haven't been around that long, like 10 years. How'd they come up with that? Was there some guy in a marketing meeting like, I got an idea. How about we fill a Pop-Tart with nasty meat? And you can cook it in a sleeve thing. You can dunk it in the toilet.
Telling you.
There is the vegetarian Hot Pocket for those of us that don't want to eat meat but still would like diarrhea. Hot Pocket. It should just come with a roll of toilet paper. Diarrhea Pocket. You ever notice there's no dignified way to buy toilet paper? You always had to buy in that multi-pack of like 18 rolls, stick it in your cart. Everyone in the store's like, does that guy ever leave the bathroom?
It's like a side turn there.
Yeah.
Is he living off of Hot Pockets? Hot Pocket. There's the lean pocket. I don't even want to know what's in there. Imagine the directions. Take out of box, place directly in toilet.
It's a great tear.
That's terrible.
Pocket.
This is a great one. This whole section right here is hilarious.
Pocket. Recently, they introduced the breakfast Hot Pocket. Finally. I can't think of a better way to start the day. Good morning. You're about to call in sick. Hot
This man doesn't care if he gets sued or not.
No, he's not stopping.
Now you can have a Hot Pocket for breakfast, a Hot Pocket for lunch, and be dead by dinner. Dead Pocket.
Bad time to take a swallow.
I do love that jingle. You think they worked hard on that song? What do you got so far, Bill? Hot Pocket. That's good.
That's good.
That's very good. Not as good as your By Menon, but it's good. Now, what are we going to run in Mexico?
Oh, my word.
Caliente Pocket. You've got a gift, my friend.
Where is Jonathan?
Don't hide that in a bushel basket.
I don't even know what that is. Like, don't hide it in a bushel basket.
It reminds
I saw
me
a
of that
commercial
Sunday
for
school
a
song.
chicken pot
Hide
pie
it under a
Hot
bushel.
Pocket.
Maybe
Now
that's
they're
why.
just messing with us. Just a matter of time. Have you tried the Hot Pocket? Hot Pocket? It's a Hot Pocket filled with a Hot Pocket. Tastes just like a Hot Pocket. I'm gonna go and stick my head in the microwave. Hot Pocket!
Gosh, that's
We are
funny.
proud to have been.
That's a classic,
That
to say the
is
least.
a classic. Wow.
Yeah, so the big question is, why in the world is this funny? I'd be curious. It's my favorite joke of all time. What would, with you hearing it, when it just pops off?
There's all kinds of funny things. Number one, his delivery is just hysterical.
Yes.
He's the first comedian that I remember, and I don't know if this is true or not. It's just the first one I ever remember giving voice to the audience.
Yes.
So he's sort of setting up a rhetorical thing going on where he's, giving and taking and answering. He's sort of putting thoughts in the voices of the audience and responding to it.
Third voice.
Yeah.
It's the third voice. And I've heard a lot about it. I have a friend of mine who said that he was actually in the audience in the early days when he when he used to do the college tours, and actually heard him when he was just discovering how to do it. But the cool thing about it is, it's most often, not always, when he does it, it's the audience's perspective. So he's giving voice to the audience, saying what somebody might be thinking.
Sure.
So what's crazy about it is he's actually giving the negatives, either about the joke or what he shouldn't have done. Like in this one, he does it with the whole, well, I like NASCAR. Doing that's what somebody out there saying. And so I don't know if it's his way of like giving them a voice and then releasing him from responsibility, or now that they've been heard. But it's ingenious.
It's ingenious on a lot of levels because, number one, it's telling the audience, hey, I thought about what I'm saying, and I know it could come across this way. And so, therefore, I'll even respond. I'm leading you this whole time.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
The crazy, to me,
Or at least some of you.
What I find to be ingenious about it, it's a way for him to bring another character onto the stage. It's like bringing another person up there without them being up there.
Yes.
And I watch him so much and have watched so much of his stuff in the past. I catch myself sometimes doing it by accident. You don't want to steal somebody's stuff, and even almost sounding like him.
Well, dude,
stop.
I've heard other comedians one of my favorites, and we'll get into him later, Bill Burr. I've heard him do that.
Oh, really?
I've heard him give voice, and I've heard other comedians.
You can, as long as you don't steal his trick.
Well, they don't lean into it like he does.
Right,
it's the whole.
That's his whole bit.
Yeah.
It's ingenious. It's probably one of my favorite things that he does. That's probably what made him classic. Now, there is, for those that are really interested and love that joke like I do, there is a podcast that he did, I think during COVID, about the joke. He did a whole podcast on it, and he shows a couple of three clips. One in the early days when he first wrote it, a second clip that's the advanced version of it, and it's in it because the joke has evolved, and then there's the final thing that he did with this guy. It's like a little funny thing, but he talks about the joke, the evolution of it, and he recognizes it's what made him famous. And everywhere he goes, everybody
particular
acknowledges
bit.
This bit is the one. So he kind of took off as far as becoming famous because of, and it's funny because that's the first bit I heard that somebody turned me on to the joke. They said, this is hilarious. And what makes it funny, of course, he's an observational comedian. So, his jokes are always about things that we notice or we think about, typically family, food, being fat, being stupid, being lazy. He does all these things that a lot of us can relate to. And so that's the winner of this joke is, especially, I don't know if everybody has familiar, but my kids even, you know, we were poor, so we made them eat Hot Pockets, or we just wanted to make sure they had as bad experience growing up as we did.
Absolutely.
So we made them eat Hot Pockets, just like I had to eat Hot Pockets when I was a kid. And I think that's what makes it. All the things that he's saying, most of us are like, exactly. I remember burning my mouth, the day of the microwave. I mean, all of these little bits and pieces that
it's so relatable on so many different levels.
And that's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
You know, observational, focusing on things, which is what made him super famous.
Yeah. And he's got another bit. The thing that the misdirection, I guess is what you call it, where you're leading them down a path and then you just pull the rug right out from under them. And that whole thing about going to McDonald's and then being ashamed that he's being seen by someone at McDonald's. And so
it's a great line.
The way he gets out of being seen at McDonald's is, well, I'm here to meet a hooker. So automatically it's like, I would rather be known as someone meeting a hooker than someone that eats at McDonald's.
Yes.
And then it goes, he should be here any moment. He just
levels and levels and levels of it. Yes. And you know, what makes it funny is that in some way you've thought it too. It's somewhat like we all agree. McDonald's, I'm a little bit embarrassed about it.
I don't want to be seen. I eat this trash. But you know,
I've given up on life at this point. You know?
Exactly, like I've quit.
McDonald's. It's a great bit. I got to see him in Charlotte.
Yeah.
The thing I hate about it though is it was at the Spectrum. It's their huge arena.
Okay.
And so he was in the center, and it's just ginormous. I don't remember how many people. It was a lot. The arena wasn't full. It's just not the same experience. That's the first time I've ever seen a comedian in that type of environment. And I won't do it again. I think it takes away. I think you got to be in a theater type setting.
You got to be in a smaller room.
Smaller, closer to them. It was good. But what made that one interesting was, and how we know it's made him famous, that was his encore. So at the end, when he was wrapping it up, people started clapping and literally started yelling Hot Pockets. And you know what? He did it. And he added stuff to it. So the joke is constantly evolving. There were jokes in it that I'd never heard. And he tells a story, as he does in a lot of this stuff. And again, if you go to his little thing, the podcast that he did about it, that he had went on a vacation at this house, rented the house, and somebody, either the guy who he got the house from, or what's funny was it was in North Carolina. So it was either the house that he rented, the guy who was there, or a friend of his had filled every refrigerator, every freezer, top to bottom with Hot Pockets. Hundreds and hundreds of Hot Pockets where you open it, it's all falling out onto the floor. He said that was probably the greatest moment for him. He walked in and all of it's right there. Oh, man. He has a great appreciation for the brilliancy of the joke.
Well, it's brilliant. The premise is brilliant. The way he sets it up is brilliant. The contrast between going to a fine dining and having the Caesar salad and explaining all these high frou-frou type, and of course we have the Hot Pocket. That whole contrast
back and forth.
Yeah.
And he does it. What's really also interesting about what makes it funny, there is a point. He doesn't do it in this particular joke, but the same principles here that he does on a lot of jokes. So he has a bacon joke, a horse joke, camping joke, but the bacon and horse, for example, there's so many jokes about it. Like this one, there's so many jokes about the Hot Pocket. At some point you're like, I mean, how many jokes can you do about Hot Pockets? And the same thing for bacon. And he then adds a third voice to that, he has to almost be done now. And then he goes into a whole nother run. The horse joke that he did, I don't remember it was on Prime, but there's a whole horse bit that he does on there. And it's the same thing. At some point you're going, I mean, how many
angles can you take?
And I do think it's what I call him, the king of the tag. And so, when you do a setup, where you set the joke up, then you do the punchline.
Yeah.
And then, so the punchline's done. I get it. That's funny. And then you add a tag.
You go back for seconds.
And that's, in all these jokes, he can keep it going, but just tag. I mean, you're just thinking how many, and I think that's what makes it funny. Cause even in your head, it's like, holy cow. I mean, how many angles of Hot Pocket can you possibly have? And he has hit every angle. Vegetarian, Hot Pocket.
For those who don't eat meat but still want diarrhea.
The lean. That's a great line. That is a great line. And I'm going to die because of it. Eating for breakfast and for lunch and dead by dinner. I mean, there's just so many angles to it. And that is what makes, in my opinion, That's what makes Jim Gaffigan, that there is no angle to the joke that he won't pursue. He's hitting it from every side of the whole joke.
Well, that's why we think this is funny.
Very funny.
Very funny.
Here we go now.